17, DiscNW High School Girls State Championship Final matchup between Northwest School and Franklin High School. I'm Mirish Loren, and I'm joined by
Shannon O'Malley
and Louise King.
We left off on Monday. We saw Franklin taking on Roosevelt High School in the first semifinal. The game was pretty much led and controlled by Franklin, playing a junkie D, shutting down the big throwers on Roosevelt. Roosevelt did make a big surge towards the end of the game, but Franklin was able to hold on and take the win 11-8. And in the second semifinal, we saw Northwest face the 2016 state champs, Lakeside. And again, Northwest had pretty good control of this game and some big plays. Jaden Fed was a big player for Northwest, along with Maya Kalmus, Nina Allworth, Ray McCann, and a few others, just playing really tight, good defense and executing well to get their goals. Lakeside had a little bit of trouble converting, but again, we saw a late surge to make it really exciting, but Northwest held on. So we're here now, getting ready to watch Northwest battle out Franklin. It should be a really good game.
Mm-hmm. We're excited to see these two teams face off for the state title. We'll be right back with the opening poll. Stay tuned.
Hey, welcome to DiscNW Friday Night Replay. I'm Jude Loren. I'm the Interim Executive Director of DiscNW, and I'm joined by Kennadi Hairston and Allegra McKee of Syzygy Ultimate. And we're excited to watch what was an instant classic. This game is one of the most amazing games I've ever had the opportunity to watch. And I'm really pleased to be joined by two players who participated in it. They faced off against each other and are now teammates off at the college level. Welcome. How are you doing, Kennadi?
I am super good. I'm excited to rewatch this. It was a pretty great game, so I'm ready to refuel all the feelings.
Awesome. And Allegra, what do you remember about this game?
Oh, this game was such a roller coaster. We came into it so excited to play and so fired up, and then as you know, towards the end, it gets kind of crazy. And yeah, it was just a total roller coaster, but such a good game to play, and I think it was really good.
Yeah, anybody who's joining it, if you haven't seen this game, you are in for a treat. Honestly, even if you have seen this game, you're in for a treat. It gets pretty intense. Kennadi, you mentioned you rewatched it recently.
Yes, and it definitely brought back a lot of emotions, and I didn't even realize I was holding on to those emotions still, but it was so good to see how far I've come since then, and also just recognize Allegra more now that we're teammates, being able to see her and see how I wasn't paying attention then, but now since I'm very good friends with Allegra, it's nice to be able to be oh my gosh, we matched up against each other. But yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah, Allegra, do you remember matching up against Kennadi in this game?
Well, I knew Kennadi was. Yeah, well, I knew Kennadi was really, really good and kind of one of the stars of the team. But I had no idea that we were gonna go to the same college. We never talked before, tryouts, I think, for Syz. And now we're really close. And luckily, we both live in Seattle and stuff. So yeah, but I had no idea. And watching it too, I was like, oh my God, Kennadi and I did meet before. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think she got around on me or something. Yeah, it was funny.
Well, I don't want to keep the viewers waiting. We'll dive in. We got a lot to talk about. I definitely want to hear about your college season and what you have to look forward to. But Leah, let's get into this game. Kennadi, do you remember how you were feeling going into this game?
I remember being very nervous because the year before that, I was slightly injured, I think, and the year before that, I was injured, so I hadn't really played up to this level yet, and so I was super nervous about everything. But we had a huge crowd from my high school, which is very rare for ultimate, and so they really hyped me up.
And Allegra, do you remember what how you were feeling or what your team was feeling going into this game?
I think we were really excited. We were nervous, but it had been like we had worked really hard that season. There was kind of this sort of feeling that it was like our year. I guess we had like 10 seniors or something crazy. Like a lot of really good players. We were going to like nationals, and we were just like really pumped to play this game, I think.
That's awesome. And that's the first pull. My image, it's a little hard to see, but it looks like Franklin's starting on D in their vaunted zone set. There we go. Now it's
Kennadi,
a little clear.
are you in the middle?
Yes, I am. I am in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
We
point
had
out,
a lot of
Allegra, what number are you on the field?
I'm 2. I see myself standing on the sideline, on the far side. Yeah, I did not start that game, but that's okay.
Are you were you both defensive players?
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, I don't really even know what I was, honestly.
Yeah, Franklin, we didn't really have, I think, D or O. It depended on just like what we needed, so we would switch all the time. But I was in the zone a lot.
Yeah, I remember watching the finals for the year after, and you were like right in the center part of the cup for like that whole game against Roosevelt.
Mhm. Yeah, we developed a huge like variety of zones over the like last 3 years, and it was like our superpower.
I missed the turn there, but I remember there being a lot of
Sonia
missed
caught it.
opportunities. What So who were kind of the go-to players on offense? Do you remember for Northwest School, Allegra?
Yeah, I remember like our handlers really like ran the sets, and I think that was a like huge key to our success that season was like you can see how patient. Well, there's like Maya Kalmus, who's at Carleton right now, Nina Allworth, Sonia, and Josie are all in the back, and they did a really good job like being patient and moving around. Which I think they're one of those handlers that just like love working in zones, you know, and so I think it made like all this part really interesting. It was like good handlers going up against a good zone.
Mhm.
And then like super tall downhill or not downhill. What am I talking about? Downfield offenders like Emily Doody and who else? Kate was really tall. Catherine Carr who just scored. So yeah.
Oh, I remember not knowing Catherine before this game, really, not knowing, and she had a huge impact on this game.
Yeah. She just worked so hard. Like I remember she got heat stroke at nationals because she like played so many points and ran like so hard. Yeah, she was amazing.
Kennadi, tell me a little bit about your experience on Syzygy so far, and what it was like moving from a Seattle youth scene into a maybe even more fierce Carleton ultimate scene.
Yeah. Well, coming from Seattle, I mean, there's ultimate everywhere, and especially in South Seattle, there's definitely like a big community, like a brotherhood. And going into Fizz, it's very much more intense. Like when you get there, they tell everybody to throw a frisbee into the field, and everybody does it. And so frisbee's like a huge part of all of that. And being on Fizz, I mean, it's like a big commitment, and I would say it's definitely more intense than being in Seattle. You're expected to commit, but it's also really into like sisterhood of just like wanting to play incredible, like competitive, ultimate, like do your best. And so like it's the same competitive, like wanting to do your best, but it's definitely a higher level. Um, Especially when a lot of people go there to play ultimate, and I went there just like, am I ready for this? But after being in it for like the past 2 years, I would not choose anything else other than being at college and playing too.
Yeah, Allegra, you were saying like kind of um, before this game in particular, you were still heavily involved in soccer. So to go from like really kind of intense soccer into a really intense frisbee scene at Carleton, did you see a shift or did that feel familiar to you?
Um, I think a lot of soccer players play frisbee too. I don't know. It seems to be like a pretty common sort of transition, I guess. But yeah, it was like this game and after this game where I really wanted to play more competitive frisbee, and that's definitely why I tried out for Sis.
Sorry, I'm having to help a family member with a password issue, and apparently it's more important than this. So y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Allegra, when you like got to Carleton, what was like the deciding factor to try out for this? Because there's different teams you can try out for.
I was really torn between the like Sis and the D3 team East. So I was like, I don't know if I want. Oh my god, sorry, that point was crazy. um, but yeah, I think the team was so amazing. Like just the people who were on the team, the leaders were incredible. Like people like Maya Powell, who are so sort of enigmatic and like well spirited. I guess really kind of what drew me to the team. I think similar for you, right, Kennedy?
Yeah, really like Maya and Naraya and all the people who came from Seattle before them. They really kind of drew me in, and I was like, I went to go visit beforehand, and that was what just clicked into place. I was like, if I don't try out, then I'm like I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
Actually, I did that too. I like decided I wanted to go to Carleton so late, and the only way I could get like a chance to visit was through like an alumni of SIS that I knew, and so I ended up staying with Naraya, and that like totally changed my experience. Yeah.
Naraya with the big Defensive Player of the Year award this year. Well deserved. Should get it every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about like some leaders. I should talk about your coaches. Allegra, you had kind of a legendary coaching staff there, Mark Burton and Amp. What was that like? Did you learn a lot from them?
Yeah, totally. That was kind of an insane like interjection to Ultimate to have Mark and Amp as your coaches. I think they definitely had high standards, but like I learned so much this season, and from them, they just really like knew what to do, and we like had plays. That was my first time ever like having plays and stuff. So really, yeah, I think they really like brought us to the next level and kind of showed me like how. Oh my god, I think yeah, that was only me to you. But yeah, they worked us really hard, and I think they were definitely a huge part of why we were successful.
Is that 3-0 Northwest?
Yeah.
Wow. Kennadi, tell me a little bit about the coaching staff at Franklin at the time. That was also kind of a bunch of legends.
Yeah, we had Hannah, Kawhi, and Sam Harkness, and Lisa, and they are my favorite coaches. They will always be my favorite coaches because of how much I think they believed in us a lot. And And that was like really inspirational for me. And I think about like how much they did for us on and off the field, especially in this game, like getting us from how we're playing now to how we play later is incredible. And like I think they deserve like Coach of the Year award for the next 10 years because that's like amazing. But
Yeah, we're building some suspense here for those who are the uninitiated. Yeah, you can hear in the background, I think Shannon is talking about how at the Northwest School, especially then, Ultimate was the sport, right? I mean, I know that they had soccer teams and they had a pretty good basketball team, but it was, I mean, this is the most, they just have a tradition of excellence there. And then Franklin also has a tradition of excellence, but honestly, kind of a tradition of often falling short, especially on the boys' side, to Northwest. Did that weigh on you at all, Kennedy? Were you just like, nah, this is our game. We're not worried about the boys' season?
I mean, we all were aware of like the curse of getting to finals and getting there and then falling short and and wow. Yeah. But we knew that if it was anything, it was us. We also had we had a huge group of seniors, a lot of good juniors, and then a lot of good sophomores. We had Hazel and Amy Nguyen, and they're amazing and they're still amazing. So we knew we could do it. We had to get there.
There's a call on the throw. Never really noticed that, but there has been a call. There has been a call.
There's like.
This is so funny. Thanks for
you just hear Mira in the back going, there has been a call. Is that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this was I don't know, you might be able to hear, this was a huge crowd. Huge. Both Northwest School and Franklin it was so loud. Do you remember that at all? Do you remember the experience of hearing the crowd?
Yeah. I do. I remember it was a big deal for us because this was the year that our boys basketball team was doing really well. And there was like a huge effort to go to their games and see them when they were like they were really good, but it was like their like state like round of 16 or like quarters or something. And we were like, please just drive like 30 minutes to see our state finals. Like we worked so hard. And so we got all of them to come, like all the basketball players, everything. And so there was definitely like a lot of pressure that I felt like we'd worked so hard to get recognition at our school for like all the hard work we'd put in. And now everybody was there like waiting for us to perform.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the same for us. In a way, we got like spirit buses, I think, this year to get people to go. We had all like advertised on our social media because this was further south of Seattle, and so it was kind of more accessible for us in a way because most of the people who live in Franklin didn't live like further south of Seattle. So it was great to see all of our friends and friends be able to be here. Yeah.
Sweet. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a call. I remember there being a lot of interesting calls this game.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Kennedy?
I do. I think it was, this was a very heated game, I would say, in terms of our intensity / emotional reactions. And I think this call was the spark of what of our like crowd getting really excited. Like I think this turned them up a little bit like high, and so after this, our crowd kind of gets really intense, and it kind of hypes us up too. So.
Yeah, I saw some like crutches being thrown on the sideline there, so somebody had a reaction.
Colleen.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Colleen was injured, right?
I think they were just consulting Hannah and Kawhi on.
It was her ACL.
That's right.
Which I think is a great option or anything. However, they're great resources to say, hey, can you tell me the rule about this?
Yeah, as you started to feel some of that tension rise, Kennadi, do you remember hearing anything from your coaches?
I remember our coaches like behavior and like the way that they were holding themselves kind of was what helped us calm down. Hannah, she's like known for having her hands out like this and telling us to like calm down. They're really nonchalant, and so that I think was how they tried to get us to, as well as telling us to calm down verbally. But their physical or like the way that they're holding themselves is really, I think, what turned the food for us to really pull out.
And Allegra, do you remember your coaches at all addressing it?
Yeah, I guess from what I remember, it was a lot about like, we weren't gonna focus on like our opponents or who we were playing. It was like this is all about us, and we just want to play how we're gonna play, and we shouldn't be letting things get in the way of that. I guess because it's so easy to get heated about calls because calls can disrupt the game a lot, and it's so hard to tell like. When there's contact, like where that line is, I guess. Especially in high school, like I don't think I knew the rules at all during this game. And yeah, and like Kennadi said, it was a super stressful situation. So yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, you came from a soccer background, right? So did this seem kind of like, were you surprised by the intensity at all, or did this feel sort of normal to you?
No, I think I was more nervous for the Lakeside game, honestly. I think our mentality was a lot like, well, we gotta beat Lakeside first. Like that's what we gotta think about. And after doing that, it was like, whoa, like okay, we can do this. We can do. And I think that's where our confidence and like patience in the beginning like came in. From was beating Lakeside, and I remember Naraya in that game actually because her cleat like broke. And she took a roll of duct tape and like duct taped her shoe together and just put it right back on and like kept playing and scoring all these points. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she's incredible.
That Lakeside team is basically this year's like Callahan video, like Callahan nomination. There's so many great players on that Lakeside team. So to overcome them was pretty. I mean, that's a testament.
It is. Yeah.
Looks like 4-0. Somebody call a timeout. Kennadi, do you remember what? I'm assuming it was the Franklin coaches that called a timeout. I would have. You remember what they're telling you right here?
They were probably telling us that we know exactly what we have to do. We just need to do it. I remember with the first 2 points, we just weren't playing our best, and we had to get ourselves to that level. So that's probably what they were saying was get out of the door and get your heads up and keep going.
Allegra, do you recall any? Do you remember this moment at all? Like, you're up 4-0 in the finals. Do you remember what that was feeling like, or were you just trying to roll with it at that point?
I remember just being like, "Wow, this is unexpected." Like, I think we were being really patient with the disc, and really working it with the handlers, and didn't have that many like unnecessary turnovers. And I think our coaches were just telling us to like keep playing like this, but we can always step it up, I guess. And just staying calm and like playing how we were playing. Yeah, I think it's easy to get in your head when you're up. Yeah.
Boy, yeah, I think this might have been the first. I'm sorry.
I was just we had a lot of like older. I think on Franklin too, there were a lot of like older role models that I think were really good under pressure, and knew how to like stay patient and be calm with the disc. Yeah.
Yeah, we did, especially the few years before that. Like I was, I played with Samia Ishmael and stuff like that, and so we had a lot of people who were good under pressure, and so we really had to just channel them for this game.
I mean, defense.
Yeah, I think actually they're playing a little bit of a coachy D still. You'll notice that.
Do you remember what your what Franklin's intention was coming into this game? Did you have were you trying to look for particular options, or what were you told going in?
Well, for the whole entire season, our goal, or what we did in general, was to play tight D and fast break. That's kind of like what our signature was. And so our intention going into the game was to do those things. And for the, we're just not getting it right now. But that was the intention, to play how we happened to.
Nice put to.
Oh my God.
Yenny Lee gets in there and throws a swing to Kennadi Hairston, who throws it to.
Kennadi got the assist.
Kennadi breaking the ice.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's gotta feel good for Franklin. Get that first point on the board.
Yep.
Yeah, let's watch
They
this.
left it on the field really
I was kind of hoping to see. Is that
quickly.
Yeah, I think they're getting their speed back.
I really like that Michelle just
is that Yenny
stepped right away and got
threw it to you?
Yeah, to me, and then I threw it to Jasmine Moon.
just going for it.
Yeah, when
Jasmine.
the
Yeah.
disc is close to the end zone, you just gotta get it farther away.
Never underestimate the power of a fast break.
Let's see. Let's shout out some folks on. Let's go down like the heavy hitters on that Franklin team. I know Yi was a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So Yi. Who else? Who else were your go-to players?
How did you feel playing?
So we had
And their numbers,
Yi.
if you remember.
Yeah, we had Michelle Yi. Before Colleen injured herself, we had Colleen. We had Hazel. We had Nika, who was a freshman at the time. We had Paige Shinrong. We had Roxanne Caberto and Yenny. And then who else? I'm like scrolling through this. We had Amy and we had Teresa Bowie. All I'm pretty sure all of who played YCC at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nina was on my team as well.
Was that Echo?
Yeah, that was a and have gone on to like multiple players who went on to play in Worlds, and are now playing in college. Thankfully, there's some players like I'd love to. I don't know where Ross went, but love to track them down, see how they're doing. Ross is one of my favorite players to watch play. Just threw it as hard as they could every time they got the disc.
Mm-hmm.
Not afraid to unload. Oh! Hazel with the D. Yeah, Nika's getting a lot of PT for being a ninth grader in the state final. That's awesome.
We definitely had just like a lot, like a really deep team. Like this team had talent, freshman to senior, and it was great. And we had Yenny and Drea, who didn't go to Franklin, but were able to play with us, and that was also super helpful. But a lot of it was based on team defense, and so yeah.
Yeah, Yenny was a aviation player, correct? Went to aviation, Raisbeck? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea was at interagency, maybe? I don't remember. Yeah. So talk to us. Tell the viewers a little bit about. This is confusing. I remember because there was 2 number 11s. I think Nina was one of them.
Yeah, we kind of. I don't even remember who the other one was, but at Northwest, you got your jersey in like 6th grade, and a lot of people had that same jersey, I think, through like high school. And our shorts were like the same material. Yeah, those were classic jerseys. It looks like Josie, I think, is number 11. She's a handler.
Is that Josie?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's Sonia. Sonia and Josie were two really good players out of my year. That's Josie throwing right there.
Oh, yeah.
She's playing at Colorado College now. Yeah.
I know there's at least one other Syzygy player on the field at my Calmus. Anybody else from Syzygy here on these teams?
I do not think so. Yeah, me and Allegra.
It's incredible. Coach around Seattle, and I've been coaching around.
But it's definitely fun
that,
to play against these people. Like, I know Sonia now plays on Western. I know a lot of the Franklin people play on UW now, so it's cool to see them at tournaments and stuff.
And like the connection between like the high school players and the middle school.
And you said Emily Beatty, who's a tall receiver.
I just love like that community sense of like.
Sorry, Kennedy. What were you saying?
It is one of the most exciting things to be able to see all of my Franklin friends at tournaments now in college.
What and then Emily Beatty, you said is a neighbor off at college when she's playing down the road, but not ultimate, right?
No, she's on the varsity soccer team.
There's Nina with the pull.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Franklin looking to convert here.
5-1. Kennedy. Yeah. Come on, what's happening?
Every time I try and watch this, I usually skip to past this point. But like I said, we just weren't playing our best. We were getting turns, but we weren't converting those turns and the scores, which is really, really frustrating. I think that was one of the things we had to work through was our frustration with ourselves.
Oh. Yeah. Nina with the super casual, just like.
That's Catherine Carr. She scored so many points for us. She was so tall and so athletic.
Yeah, that was the one thing that was for Franklin and Northwest. You guys were super tall. All of us, I was the tallest person on the team, and I'm 5'7", and so we had to figure out how to handle that. Because about half the team was taller than us.
Yeah, and we were like, how are we going to handle Franklin? We were like, we know they're super fast, fast break, quick team. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. 6-1 now? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, Drea with the huge bid. Yeah. Do you how often do you find yourself thinking about this game, Kennedy? Do you unless you're forced to, do you think about it, or does it come up in your day-to-day Frisbee thoughts?
I think about it. I'd say I think about it more than usual, especially after when I got concussed and stuff like that. I would go back to this game and be like, I'm fighting to play Frisbee again, and this is why. This game is one of the reasons why I keep wanting to play. So it's a motivator, I would say, in my Frisbee dream.
And Allegra, what was the lasting effect of playing in this game for you?
To be honest, I don't really think about this game much, but I think it really had a lasting effect. Just because I was like, wow, this is what competitive, strategic, intense, ultimate can look like. And, you can be up by a lot and have stuff happen. And yeah, this is definitely what kind of made me feel like, okay, I want to work really hard and I want to get better at Frisbee, and that's something that I want to dedicate time to more than I had. So I was kind of like, yeah, I'm a mediocre junior at this point, on a really good Frisbee team who kind of sits on the sidelines and is learning. No, it's kind of like I want to be like a part of these games. You know, I want to be like having an impact. And obviously, I wasn't gonna do that until I like told myself that I was a frisbee player, really. So yeah.
Score is currently 6-1.
Oh, that was Amp. She would always like take notes on exactly like who got a D and who scored a point, who did an assist. And so for every game, she would have stats for every player on literally like how many completed passes, like how many drops, if you wanted to know that, if for some reason, like all of these stats. I had no idea how she did it.
Hannah and Sam and
Did have either of you since this had a game that you were either way up in or way down and had a chance to like reflect on this at all and be like, oh, I know this feeling, Allegra?
I don't think not by this much really, like not a competitive, because this was still like felt really competitive and intense. Like I think on Syzygy a lot of times like our regional competition isn't like as fierce sometimes like in the lower levels of tournaments, and so we like tend to be up by a lot, but it didn't have the same sort of intensity that this game did, and same kind of like insane results. And yeah, I think it's kind of unique in that regard for sure.
Yeah. I would say I feel like in my senior year, so the year after this, we did. And I don't know how much this game like reminded us that we could do it, but I think that we had a sense like in my senior year that like, there was still the possibility for us to be able to come back from any sort of deficit. This is what we experienced a lot during the senior year. Yeah, but even in Mississippi, I would agree with like that it was not as big of a deficit that we were finding. Yeah.
ask a question.
6-1. Do you did either of your teams like talk about maybe you didn't even notice that they were doing it? Did either of your teams talk about like mental toughness and building like grit throughout your season, or is that something now that you see value in, or your coaches do now at Sis? And Kennadi, I'll go to you.
Yeah. Yeah, we so Hannah and our coaches would do like breathing exercises where we would stabilize ourselves in the moment, and it was like before practices, before games. So for us, we really got stabilizing ourselves and being in the moment, and we did that for years and years. And so actually, when we practices, we didn't do that as much, which I was shocked by, but we're implementing it now, and so it's nice to kind of fall back on familiarity, of the situation.
Raymond Chan.
Wow.
Julia Morris.
That was an amazing inside break there thrown, or a crossfield. I guess it wasn't an inside break. It was kind of an around break. That was a great throw. Is that Maya Kalmus that threw that?
Hello, Gwen.
That was sick.
I don't know. I missed it.
Oh yeah, it made me go ooh. The amount of on the field on display, I just like I can't get over. This is like high school ultimate. It's y'all are so good. And we're getting into it 7-1. There's a lot of teams out there that would crack. But I'm looking at the body language of the Franklin team, and look at that, like just the effort made by the sideline to come together. That's really impressive. Hey, Frank Nom, happy birthday, Frank Nom.
Yeah, happy birthday.
If you don't know, it's always Frank Nom's birthday. Anytime you see him. There's High Trang. We have a High Trang sighting.
Oh, hi.
Martin Lee. Look at little baby Martin Lee there. That's awesome. You will hate that I said that. Uh, Pull out of bounds. All right, I want to kind of like I've been talking. I love hearing all the insights, and definitely like encourage you both to talk about what you're seeing, talk about like the differences between playing like high school girls and college ultimate. But I want people to watch this game too. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, Kennedy.
Yeah.
Against Taylor, too.
That was all Amy. Amy knew, and she stands still just all the way there. And she's to this day one of my favorite throwers because of just like how like confident she was in her throws, and in me obviously. But yeah, I love her, and she's playing at UW, which is super exciting.
Yeah, you will see them again. You will see her again, I think, next year in the college season. That's an amazing team. I think Sis and UW were destined to meet each other late at nationals, I think.
Yeah, very much
So that had to feel good. Kennadi, you've been involved, and you got only 2 assists for Franklin in this game so far.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
cool.
I was watching back, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I did that. But it's nice. It's nice my involvement.
Yeah, literally like keeping them in the game. What tell me a little bit about like who are your inspirations? Who did you look up to growing up? You mentioned Samia. Who else who did you look to? Who inspired you to keep playing and push yourself, Kennadi?
Wow. Oh, that's a good question. I would definitely say like my coaches, both like all of my coaches, Hannah and Sam, and even in middle school. For some reason, my brother, even though he doesn't even play, but when it comes to more professional, I would say like if he came in for the bigger type things, like as I got more into ultimate. But in middle school, I was looking up at Michelle Yee, like people I was playing with. I was looking to like Michelle Yee and even PX, who is in the same grade as me, because I saw a lot of their strengths, and I was like that was my motivation because I saw how good and great they were and how I could put into them. So Michelle Yee and Rostan, and I was looking at the people 1 or 2 years above me, and Samuel. Yeah.
Woo! Really coming back. Mira might have been stretching it a little bit there, but I think it's just over the outstretched hands of Nina.
Mm-hmm. I think she gets a touch, maybe. Oh, no, she doesn't.
I wouldn't be surprised. Nina plays well above her height.
Yeah,
that's true.
Mm-hmm. She has great jump.
You and Nina played together on several YCC teams, correct, Kennadi?
We did. We played on U16 teams together, and I think U20. That was a great experience. Yeah, playing with Nina, especially as learning how to, play above your height with Nina, was a great learning experience for me.
Yeah, this is always interesting because you are matched up. I mean, every time you get to the finals of the semis, or even just in league play, you get matched up against a lot of people that you were otherwise teammates with. Like during look at the crowd. Wow. So like Maya, you probably did she play YCC with you? Maya Kalmus maybe, and Ray. Nina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ada, Bowles, and Ali. All of them on U16 together. So whenever we put East Northwest as like team against my old teammates, yeah.
Yeah. That is a huge pull. Wow.
It
Oh
looks
my
like we got
gosh.
Northwest and a vertical stack.
Oh, and they all rushed to the one side.
The flood play.
We got
Yeah, nice flood play. That's some
Oh, there's
quality ultimate.
Lila.
For the upline.
Let's see if she can
Oh yeah, I forgot about Lila Ford.
Lila Ford was really, really huge for our team.
Emily called
She
it
was
minutes,
just
but
a downfield cutter who worked so hard. She was for sure one of my like biggest role models for how to cut well. Cause
What?
she wasn't that tall either. I don't know how she caught that.
Catherine Carr did not know that was coming in, but
She like reaches around her defender.
Yeah, that's a tough break.
Can we watch that? Well, we're getting a replay. This is amazing.
Down defense here.
Josie Ballou with looking, and then she's got a high release, I think high stall count.
Just desperation.
Wow.
I think high stall count.
That's absurd.
Put it up.
Yeah.
Till
Penny's reaction is perfect. She's like, I don't even know.
confused there.
Yeah.
She did it good.
And is that half? Oh yeah, that was to take half. Wow.
Yeah. At this point,
All
we were
right.
definitely like, oh my gosh, dude, this is awesome. You know, we just have to keep doing our thing and it's going to be okay. This is crazy. We're in the finals and we're up by 8-3. Like, how is this happening? Like, oh my God. I think everybody was kind of in a state of shock, probably on both sides, to be honest.
Yeah. Kennadi, what do you remember about halftime?
I remember that last, like, to take half, that point was slightly frustrating, but we really couldn't do anything about how that was scored. I remember going up to the stands because my dad and my stepmom were watching, and he gave me Gatorade, and he was like, you guys are down a lot. And I was like, yeah, but we got it. And I just walked back down with so much confidence and for 8-3. And so I think back at that, like, where did that confidence come from? But it pays its off, so yeah.
Do you remember, Allegra, if your coaches said anything, or did they kind of play hands off a little bit, just like?
I think they wanted to make sure that we were staying in the game. I think it's kind of an issue with a lot of good teams. I know we sometimes struggle with it on Syzygy. Like, when you get ahead, it's really easy to start kind of like pulling back and not being so intentional with your throws or how you're playing. So I think that was definitely the mindset, was like, keep being patient, keep the energy up. But I think almost we might have gotten a little too relaxed. And tired, probably tired too.
Quick shout out to my best friend, Patient Wrong. You're not wrong for me.
Oh my gosh.
Love you. Go Amy!
I feel like Franklin loves like Zono. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you love it.
Oh yeah. We played zone so much, we had to work against our own a lot, and so I think we just became really like comfortable with it, especially with Michelle and Patient. Like, how could we not love it with them being so speedy and like perfectly poised for it,
Yeah, I think Michelle Yee is like, I cannot talk enough about the impact that she has on the game. Not just this game, but like every game. Every game I've ever seen her play in. Like, I think she was the leading scorer at YCC one year. And like, she's not very tall. Like, big impact, small stature.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about her. Tell me, what do you remember about playing with Michelle Yee?
Playing with Michelle Yee, like, for me, it's a dream because she's determined, committed. She always does what she needs to do. She's like skillfully just like chef's kiss, exquisite, brilliant when it comes to her skill. And even though she's not playing like now competitively, like I still get so much advice from her, and as actually when she captained me, like it was one of the she's one of my favorite people who has captained
Ooh,
me.
and a nice bid.
Ooh.
Show ye. Oh my goodness.
So people,
This is crazy. Where she landed.
I know. I hope everybody's okay out there. There's a nice aggressive D from Franklin.
Looks like got the
yeah,
wind knocked
there were a
out.
lot of calls this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember the
See
calls.
replay here.
Let's watch.
Oh,
Oh,
kind of got hooked
Yeah,
by the Northwest player.
Funny landing there.
accidentally.
a lot of contact.
Everybody seems to be okay.
Hazel had a good year
Not contesting the
at
foul.
Tufts.
Northwest players.
Did you get a chance to play her this year? Did you play Tufts?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can tell that.
Well, Allegra,
Oh my
you were a rock, and I was concussed, so we both weren't
Right.
there.
Yeah.
For the, but we did play tough a lot. I think twice, and it was a very good game. Very good game. Like Hazel, she's doing great things on that team.
She put her hands up.
Hazel and Goss.
And she was like,
Mhm.
That's two huge. That's a huge freshman class just there. Just those two.
Conversation right here about how like calls don't necessarily mean that it's
I've never
Lots of
played
talking.
with Hazel ever or like talked with her ever, but just watching her play, she's so like explosive and energetic. I feel like it'd be hard to not to match her energy like when you're playing with her.
and be honest about what's happening on the field.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
it's a call for you or
This
against
point, I think, was where
you. Just not call any calls.
we all had our tempers high because of just how many calls were made. And it was
I can see you pacing.
elementary school team,
I was walking out the frustration of so many calls. But yeah.
If there's a
No
foul
retraction.
or if there's like a stall, if there's a stall, call it loud. If you get fouled, you should call it.
Yeah. All right. So they turn back over.
Oh.
Wow.
Mm.
Getting in front of that hook.
That's Ross the gunner. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Not a foot it.
Josie Baloo, I believe.
There's
Called
Josie.
on the mark.
What's he believe?
Just outside
Oh.
the reach for Northwest. Ross
That was Lila.
pace. Puts up a huge
That-
throw to Yeti.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great throw.
How the heck does that
Shout out to
happen?
half for Franklin.
I can hardly hear my other commentators. The crowd is so loud.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can hear Luke. If you don't mind turning up the call a little bit, because I love how excited that the commentators got in this.
Mhm.
That's a great
When the crowd is so loud.
But you hear it from Franklin a lot. The
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop. I love that cheer. The score is 8-4.
8-4. It's starting to feel a little bit more in reach.
Mhm.
Maybe
I don't
47
think
minutes
we
left.
were nervous yet. I don't know. I think I remember at this point being like, that's okay, you know, we can go back and forth a little. We still got a cushion. It's okay. We just have to keep playing our game or whatever. And
Responds
yeah.
on O.
I don't know. Mark looks a little intense.
Yeah, I think he's starting to get a little nervous.
Right here.
He was always intense though. I don't think you'd ever see him without like stone face.
See in the crowd, there's like a big Northwest
That's
sign.
that's fair. That's fair. He's got resting intense
Parents
face.
really come to support and lots of food. Looks like we have. I can't tell who that is.
I think that's
And
Nika
Nika's
getting ready
pulling.
Oh
to
yeah.
pull.
Who is it? Oh, that's Nika. Yeah,
Mhm.
product of Aki.
Yep.
Nice pull, getting down there.
Yeah, when Franklin's gotten to pull, they've had some really nice air, giving them a lot of time to get under the disc, set up the defense that they want.
Got Allegra with the disc.
Oh my god.
Being
Stop.
patient.
Getting the shout out.
Being
That's
patient
like
is
that.
important. You know, you got 10 seconds. They're working up the field nicely.
a shot to Lauren.
Oh,
Ooh,
Nice
is that
D.
deep for you?
good try there. Looks like
I don't know if I was like a D or if I was just in the vicinity, you know?
We got it on tape. You can take credit.
Ooh.
Ooh,
He actually looking to get it out of the sideline. Really close to the end zone.
Got Camille with the disc to Jaden.
I remember
Jaden had a
Jaden's
huge
dad
game.
just being the loudest person in the stadium.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lauren, maybe.
Yeah.
Jaden's
She
dad
played
is
for
my
Aki.
favorite.
Didn't
Just out of the reach there.
see a camera.
Was she Aki or was she Mercer?
Tino left his
You
camera.
Oh,
remember?
maybe she was
Mercer.
Mercer. Maybe she was Mercer.
She was Mercer.
Yeah.
Outside of the end zone.
Yeah.
Not a hazard. Don't worry, folks.
Amy to win to pick it up. She's got a little scratch on her shoulder or something.
Little turf burn there from her
Yeah,
bits.
she was so good. She was only a freshman this year, I think.
Yeah.
Scars from turf burn. It's a nice
I think she was a sophomore.
Yeah, she was a sophomore.
Were you teammates at
I think she's taller. Maybe it's just me.
Kennedy?
Oh my god, Ken. Oh, look, this is us matching up.
Oh yeah.
Really? Oh my goodness.
I think you get the round. We'll see.
Who would have known, Allegra, that we would have come so far?
I'm like,
Impatient.
I know, honestly. This is a big learning year for sure.
Mhm.
Oh,
Jaden
Jaden
dominated
again.
this point.
Kenny. Yeah, you can see it. The intensity is definitely rising.
Oh, it's all. Dang.
Wow, an uncontested stall too. You don't.
Jaden was she was a very classy player. Let's put it that way. She had a lot of respect for it. Yeah, for
Take your
sure.
time now. Wait for the
What a
look
fake!
pass.
He's got that
Beautiful. Oh. Oh.
Oh, and a nice D by
Jaden again.
Kennedy and Yenny almost got
Her
there.
fifth D on this point alone.
Deep space. It's a tough look. Now Jaden puts it up, but the Northwest players weren't quite ready for it.
Wow, I do remember this. I was in the booth for this, and at this moment, I could feel like just the
You see Franklin
tension
doing a
rising,
nice job realizing this is one of
and in the stadium, and everyone was kind of like, "Whoa, oh, is that you?"
Oh my god, yeah, I can't even watch. I'm like,
Yeah, that's a great mark.
Northwest.
she gets the around.
Thrower. She gets off a great throw. Awesome throw to space.
Oh,
Nika can't quite reach.
Oh.
Looks like the sun was hitting her right in the eyes.
Also,
Both teams are kind of just tired, I think.
Yeah.
looks like one of the Northwest players got in there a little bit.
Franklin trying to transition, pick up their players. Nice D by
No.
Michelle.
Dang.
Amy. Oh! Amy reels it in for a score. The end of a long point. The score is 8-5 Northwest.
Wow. So now it's like I don't know what it is, but the difference between 8-4 and 8-5 is that's a distinct shift, right?
Yeah.
Nice look there.
Yeah.
Do you
I
remember
think
that
this
at all?
point-
Melissa?
I think this point was really big for that. You can
feel
feel the momentum shift, like in that moment, where we're definitely more tired at the end of that point than Franklin is. And it's kind of like this oh crap moment, like they're sort of building their momentum at this point. Like I think that was a huge spark.
spring rain win, so they've really been taking
Yeah, you can see our energy just going up, like as Amy got that, and then she
so
spiked it with. We were just all hyped up after that.
Yeah, we're looking a little
Maybe.
like, oh no.
But you hear the crowd. I hear the "Let's Go Northwest" in the background.
That's the boys basketball team that showed up because you're giving them
Awesome.
so much crap.
Do you did that feel good, or did that feel like pressure to you?
To me, it felt like pressure because I already, like, this season was huge for me in terms of building my mental toughness. And, you know, especially when you're not, like, guaranteed to play, I guess. Like, you don't get a ton of PT. You feel like those points that you do play hold a lot of weight. And, you know, you really got to play well in order to get to play another one. And I was really struggling with that. And I wanted to play, but I also didn't want to mess up, you know? And I didn't want all the boys at my school to see me mess up, you know? But I think it definitely hyped up a lot of players on our team.
It's a nice goal, gonna be just out of bounds.
Kennadi, how did it feel for you? You had a very loud South End contingent there. Did that feel? Was that inspiring? Was it energizing? Or was it like, oh God?
It was inspiring and energizing. I mean, for most of our games before this, like we weren't, you know, we didn't have a lot of family members coming to the games and stuff like that. And so to have this huge sideline just like pumping out cheers, or a huge crowd pumping out cheers and continuous support, I think it definitely had an impact on like us hyping ourselves up. We knew that we weren't going to go down without a fight, especially when all these people came to watch us.
Oh,
That was Hazel.
That's beautiful.
I saw her before the game.
She would.
That's awesome.
Really getting pumped up.
Nice right there by Nika.
oh,
Drea Barone.
Wow.
Rhea throwing herself around like she hates her body.
Yeah. And she injured her ankle like the further. Really good.
Team defense there by
Oh,
Franklin.
my Lord.
Drea Barone with a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, definitely. This is the tough part, right? It's the okay. We just got this crazy intensity.
Nina.
And now let's be calm and play offense. And
Nina's like, get it in play. I'm not letting you wait. I love that. Oh my gosh.
By Northwest, Josie. Ross now.
Now everybody's just bidding on top
Ross
of each
wants to
other.
shoot it. She's pointing.
A little bit of a miscue.
So physicality definitely
Oh.
increased.
That's Maya Kalmus picking up the disc.
How do you think, Allegra, how do you think this Northwest team would fare against Syzygy?
With a nice high release.
Maybe it's just my perspective now, but I think Syzygy would crush. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Franklin?
Looks like
I think
Kennadi?
okay, I'm
Oh, and Ross gets it.
heavily biased towards Franklin. Like
Giving Franklin
if we were in our
another
like
score
the
here.
right year, I think for maybe like possibly for a little bit for sure. But
turnover.
I think it's just like my love for Franklin.
Calm down and
I have all the confidence.
and
Right.
they'll get that score.
I feel like
Especially
also
after this
I've
game.
been like a total.
Michelle Yee with the disc.
Up to Hazel.
Was looking deep to Ross and
I would say Syzygy is
Another
incredible.
score for Franklin, making it
So
8-6
that might be
Northwest.
tough, but it's alright.
Yeah. I think Syz would do well in the club division.
And now it's 8-6.
Mhm.
Really good.
It'll be a tight game.
The energies have really traded from the first half.
We got 37.
God, that's a great
A
throw.
little over 37 minutes left.
Yeah.
You hear that cheer from the crowd?
You hear that
The
can't stop, won't stop.
Pretty sure that was led by Frank Noam.
And Nika just
What,
continuously doing
Some
great.
comments like dime. That was a very nice throw. Let's go Quakers.
What? Tell me about your season. Tell me about Syzygy. Like, how was the team feeling? I know it felt like you had a lot of potential, and to have it cut short like that. How are you all doing with your just the well-being of the team?
You go,
Kennedy?
us out there? Thanks for
Yeah.
watching. They're playing
The
great.
team when I left Clarkson, they was like pretty upset with uh how it ended because we knew that we like probably could have won nationals or we could have gotten very close. And we had I think eight
Cheers coming from
seniors
the crowd, trying to get
who
Northwest off
were
that
really
streak.
invested,
Franklin
and so
scoring.
in the season we won Queen City, we won Stanford,
Oh, so Rex turns out
Invite, and
is
we were super excited for
Josh's
Northwest Challenge, and so I think all
brother.
that comes in.
So
Nice.
Jack
We're
Rex,
upset
her
for what
sister, is
didn't
filthy.
happen.
Some sibling love. Gotta
We're
love
very
seeing
proud of
that.
what we did do.
Rex, really good. I mean, not
How about
Rex.
you,
sorry,
Allegra?
Rex.
What's your kind of
I've
takeaway?
never seen it.
Rex, you might be pretty good too. We just haven't seen you.
I was
Yeah, the
abroad
crowd
from
was
January
supportive of
till
her,
March, so I didn't really.
We've played with her.
I wasn't
Listen,
there in
I've
the
been
winter.
playing
I would
together
just
since
see
we were
the Twitter
14 years
updates
old
and
at Nathan
Instagram
Hale High
updates.
School.
Um,
Welcome to Hale.
And I wasn't really that surprised.
Hale had a
So
bit of
we
a
got
rough go
tons
in
of
the
really good
quarterfinals
freshmen
against
and just a
Northwest.
super, super good
Didn't
team
quite
that
end up
was
where they
really
wanted, seeing as
committed.
Northwest is here now.
We kind of admitted to ourselves, like, okay, our goal is to win nationals, and we're gonna do everything we
Alright, we
can
got
to work
Nina
towards
centering
that.
the disc. A nice vert
Um,
stack from
but I think
Northwest.
it's definitely, yeah,
And
it's
a bit
been
of a
hard, and
straight
I
up
think
mark.
people have been dealing
And
with
Hazel's
it in
out there
different
in the deep
ways.
space.
Well, Hazel's got it, but
That was a
like,
great D.
yeah, I
She
think
was ready for
Syzygy
it.
has
She was
kind of
their
given
last
us
back.
like that
Trying to
leadership
get
has kind
things
of said
going,
like
working
you can sort
downfield.
of do whatever you need to do during this time, whether that's
It's
taking a break
Kayla
from
on the disc
frisbee or
bury the
whether that's
collision on the
working
field.
really hard to fix something you want to fix. Oh no!
Yeah, I just tripped really. Me and
Oh,
Nina,
Kennedy looks
and
almost done.
I fell on my back, but yeah,
Holding her leg.
Leg open. She's
I
okay.
think I had
were
like
you
a
feeling
sore ankle.
fine?
That's
Huh?
a
Okay.
stressful thing to do.
Oh, like were you feeling fine after that?
Yeah,
It looked
I
like
just like
almost.
the next to my knee hurt, but that was it.
Looks like both of them are going to stay.
Yeah, I can't
Oh
imagine
yeah.
either of you or Nina giving an inch on that anyways. Like, it was bound to happen.
hmm
They might be feeling it later when the adrenaline wears off.
Yeah.
Alright, and we're back in. Kayla with the disc.
To Amy almost.
Just outside
Oh.
the reach on that swing. It's a tough throw around a really stifling
Is
mark.
that Kayla?
Franklin's got kind of.
Yeah.
Kind
Wow. Go Chaos.
Northwest has a lot of players behind the disc right now, so there's a lot of defensive players as well.
yeah.
That was just Kayla was just
Wide open, but.
Kayla's was our favorite pet sitter. She stays at our house, and she is like the only person. Our cat died last spring, and we didn't have any pictures, but Kayla had a ton of them. So Kayla sent us a bunch of pictures of our own cat. It was really nice.
Oh,
Because they're right outside Northwest end zone. A turnover would be fatal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As the games progress, there's been a lot more turnovers than there was.
Amy walking the disc up with authority. She just looks like I love it. Intensity.
These points that are harder, more hard fought than before, where it's just kind of like going and going.
Oh,
I like when there's a bit of a battle.
mm.
Yeah. And these
This made me
games
so
are
nervous.
equally matched, I feel that like.
I just thought I was like, dang it, the streak.
All right, Northwest knocking on the door, looking to stop the bleeding.
oh.
Fumble there by
PX with the disc.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm kind of hearing the.
Oh, and a great catch.
Oh, what a grab!
Puts it up to Yenny.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, such a look.
Yummy.
Wow.
I definitely remember that. I remember being like, they keep turning it. They like we'll turn it, they'll huck it, they'll catch it really far down the field, and then they'll score. Like every time. I remember it felt so fast. Like the turnaround, it felt so fast.
14. I don't think that was Nina though. Well, some Northwest players
Yeah, that's a hard one to
thinking, is a score, but
That's a hard feeling to be like, oh, we can't stop them. It starts to get in your head, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it felt like something that we should have been able to stop. Like, it felt like in the moment, like you guys just kept throwing it deep and you kept beating us deep, and your throws were just on point, and you were catching everything. And I remember Mark telling us, I think on this point or a little earlier, like, you need to have a flatter mark, like, to stop the hook. But then if we have a flatter mark, then you guys will just throw all of your rounds back and forth and move it up the field. So I remember feeling really sort of trapped.
Yeah, you can see, like you were saying earlier, Luis, the energy is really
Tino, the legend.
Really key point. You can tell that Franklin is just like coming out firing. They're so positive. They're in it. And
Well, you should figure out. I wonder where the pictures are for this. I'm sure he sent them to me.
On his Facebook, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question from the crowd here. What do you think the value is of having deep throwers? Throwers who can put it deep. Yeah, I know. I mean, you have both teams have plenty, and I know on Syzygy especially, you have just a total quiver of amazing throwers. How does that set you apart from maybe other teams, or what does that give you to look back on, or to go into games with the confidence in? Allegra, what do you like about having a deep thrower on your team?
I know for me, I think about Lauren Carruthers-Lisk on Syzygy, and how I know that if I start a cut and I make a jab, like cutting in, and then I start cutting deep, like I know that she'll trust me and that she'll throw it. And so I think if you have great deep throwers, then you'll start having great deep cuts. So I think it's really, really important.
Yeah, Kennadi, how did your team get so good at throwing deep? How did that happen?
Well, I mean, we practiced a lot. Like a lot of our in practices, we were throwing deep drills in the wind, upfield, downfield, and that including like our break marks, and then we had like our freshmen coming in, like Mika and stuff, like they were learning that in middle school, and so they came in with like some pretty good basis for us, and being able to just like utilize what we already had, I think was just the biggest thing, and then like fine tune it for our skill set, which we did. And then the best part about having these like deep throwers now is that like we can use it in like any sort of sense, instead of being stuck with just like getting unders and stuff like that. We just have like such a wide variety of playing now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even if
oh, sorry. I was gonna say
ahead.
It seems like in the second half, like your guys' shot selection is just like insane. Like it feels like every huck that you put up is caught by somebody on Franklin, and I feel like I don't know. I think that shows like how experienced your team was. That they're like they can throw it really far, but they're also taking all the right shots.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the Kennedy? Do you remember if this is the year that Franklin won Spring Rain too in the mixed division? Oh,
yeah. This is the year we won Spring Rain and Seattle Invite.
You played YCC mixed, bankroll. But what do you think is the difference between playing single gender like this and in college? Oh my gosh! Ross. Sorry, that's just such a nice combination. I mean, let's just watch this real quick.
It's really straight to the left. Beautiful.
Amy knows Ross will get it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe Amy. Tough shot. Amy knows Ross will get it.
Wow. Great read. Just met that at the highest point that they could. That's awesome. And it's tied. The crowd, I remember at this point, is just nuts. There's just it's electric in the stands. Anyways, I was going to ask you, like, what do you like about playing single gender versus mixed, and what do you like? Like, if you end up playing club, do you think you'll play single gender or mixed?
Yeah, they're good players, and
I love my time on mixed, and I probably would end up playing mixed. And I really, or either, it's like really close sometimes, and I whenever I figure out which one that I want to do, kind of goes back and forth. Like all the women teams that I've been on are absolutely amazing and competitive, and like the mixed team that I've been on is also absolutely amazing and competitive. I think it just like depends on the actual community of either one, like if I vibe with it or not, and so that's really the determining factor. But
And Allegra, have you played much mixed? Because like Northwest didn't really play mixed a whole lot, except for maybe at Spring Rain. So you probably didn't have as much experience playing mixed.
No, yeah, I did play on a spring rain team in like 7th grade. That was, yeah, where we like bought our own white t-shirts and painted them, but nothing. Oh my god. I feel like it totally makes sense that your momentum would just like surge after those 2 catches, you know? Like
that.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, let's watch this one.
up and they happen to reel it in. Franklin got one back just like that. See that replay? It's really amazing.
Whoa!
I think that's actually Dre.
Josie like got a hand on it too. I don't know.
That's Bowie.
Who is that with the catch?
Huge catch. See that replay we saw.
Teresa Bowie.
That was Bowie?
Yep.
I know it's
Shout out to Bowie and her puppy, who's not a puppy anymore. One of the best. That corgi is one of the best things on Instagram.
yeah, they gotta believe in themselves.
Very true.
Yeah, check it out.
Energy from the sideline. This has been a huge game of runs.
So I'm sure there's a lot of high school players and college players right now watching who are not, like, you're not alone. A lot of seasons ended too soon. What advice would you have for them, Allegra? Are you focusing on staying fit, or are you focusing on like mental health and well-being? What advice do you have?
I guess for me, maybe a little different because it has been. I've in a frisbee game since like November, I think, which was crazy. So I was like crazy nervous and excited coming back to play, and it was really, really disappointing to not get to be reunited with my team. But I think for me, I've been trying to stay like exercising and stay fit, but only to be like, oh wow, oh my god. Okay, sorry, I'm getting so distracted. But only
No,
like,
you should watch the game. That's why we're here.
I guess like for me, I'm not really focusing on exercising for frisbee right now, especially because I don't have like weights at home to like, I don't know, lift or anything like that. So I've kind of just been running and sort of working on getting back to, I guess a kind of endurance level. So I guess like little goals for me.
How about you, Kennedy?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep my mind, body, spirit whole, exercising and stuff. I do a lot of PT for like whiplash, for my concussion, and so that's like a daily part of my routine. Yeah, running and doing body weight exercises. I have an uncle who has weights, so I usually go over there sometimes. So yeah, really just trying to stay like fit and stuff.
Nice. Look at how quickly you're moving the disc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, I keep laughing. I hear Mira just going. Her my daughter Allegra, just so you know, my daughter was one of the people on the call. I think she might have been in 5th grade at this point.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah, I think
might have
they
been
call it
4th
with
grade
us is
even.
just take a
Wait,
break,
yeah, I have to
put
figure that
their
out.
underwear on.
So just hearing her little voice
That was really working
uh,
for them in the beginning of the game.
is and
I think they
talking
just need
about
to
this
put
game,
in
she's
their
so
own
into it.
words.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Bias.
What's that?
She had a Franklin bias. Very
Yeah,
biased
for
towards
sure.
Franklin.
Yeah, no, sorry, Allegra. My Mira at this time, especially like in 4th, 5th grade, she was pretty convinced she was going to go to Franklin to play Ultimate. Like that was her whole goal. She had it all planned out. Go to Franklin, then go to. I think at that point it was Stanford to play Ultimate. Like she had it all planned out, and then be on the Supreme Court. So big plan.
That's so cool. We look so
Oh,
tired.
It's pretty wild.
yeah, I look a little
Yeah.
stunned, huh?
Mark's a little mad now.
This is a 100-point game that just I think got us all at the end.
Yeah, look,
The
now you guys look
100 minutes.
relaxed. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, it was 8-3 at half. So Franklin is now on a 7-point run.
I mean, you know, a lot of these Northwest players have been playing since they were super young. They just need to tap into their.
If you could go back, Allegra, and tell your team something at this point, what would you tell them?
Like, just get out
Oh,
of your head. Who fell?
I don't know. I think another collision.
Or if we get to the time cap first, then the
I
game
think
will
it's
be
Yenny.
once the time runs out. Just what they're
Whoa.
used to, their reflexes. Not try to push anything.
Oh, it's
crazy.
Maya?
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Reflexes. Not try to push anything.
Oh, they're like
I think
paying
Yenny
attention.
was. Yeah. If I had my guess, both players are just using this as an opportunity to rest. Just be like, I'm going to lay here for a second.
Oh,
Oh, no,
no.
she's limping. I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Josie. Wow. Yeah, I think we were really in our heads. You know, with like the energy in that stadium. I just remember I could only hear the Franklin crowds, and I was like, oh my god, like what is happening? And we start throwing kind of a lot of turnovers. Like you guys were playing so fast, but we're like really clicking. And we just didn't have that same like confidence and click at the end that you guys did. Is what it felt like. But we're starting to get it back a little here.
Oh.
I think you definitely, there was, at this point, there was like, we were both almost getting on like even ground with our energy wise. Which obviously made the game more intense. Yeah.
Catherine Carr with another. I feel like her name just got called over and over again this whole game.
She was a basketball player, and I don't think she'd been maybe playing for like 2 or 3 years or something, and really just like grew into the role, I think.
Is that Ray?
Yeah.
It's so hard to defend like good handler cuts. You guys really.
Oh. I am not sure that Nina has taken a point off this whole game. I feel like every time I look at the field, Nina's on the field. That's
She was
impressive.
definitely a leader in the handler set.
Oh. Oh. I think the whole sideline thought that was up.
Kind of looks like she's tying her shoes. She might have just got tangled.
Oh.
So they're gonna play even though she's on the ground. All right.
Sonia also played up
Well,
to
Nina
pretty much
coached
every
there by
point.
DX.
Yeah. Funny little story. A long time ago, back in the olden days, my family, we owned toy stores. Just a thing we did, and Nina and her mom used to come into our toy store when Nina was like a tiny baby, and I remember her being in a baby carrier, like a little baby carrier. So it's always cool to run into her now and be like, "Hey, you're like an adult now." Actually, I have that story too. I think, well, right there, Emily Beatty. She was I've known her since she was a tiny baby too. Her parents and us, we're friends. I think I saw her right after she was born in the hospital room. All right, what is the score now?
10-9.
Is it tied?
She's a Franklin player that
10-9. Yeah.
could be helpful, but she I think tore her ACL before spring rain.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember getting that hold? It had stopped the bleeding for a while, right? It had been a Franklin run for a while there. Do you remember what it felt like to get that point, Allegra?
Yeah, I remember it kind of felt like everything was settling at this point. Like, okay, we've got some mojo back. Like, we're only 1 point behind. It was definitely kind of like a realization moment where it was like, this was kind of it. This was kind of our chance to do something. Yeah, you see a lot of the same players on these lines who are really just like running their hearts out every single line, every single point.
Big pull from Nina. Oof, great
And
hustle
Franklin
down
looks
there,
so
Dean.
energized.
Putting it up to Kennedy, just can't get there.
A little bit too much of an inside edge there. Northwest looking for the momentum swing now.
I think I was tired at this point, but that's okay.
Kennedy putting on a really strong mark. It's tough to throw against.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Somehow. How did she do it? How did she always do it?
I don't understand that.
All right, got the coverage back. It's Kayla.
Yeah, Ross is kind of a magician.
Oh, there we go.
We encourage Roxanne to get D's by offering her treats. She's very prize motivated, so
Oh, put it out to Ross.
One of my, I think I shared this even the last time. Oh my god. One of my favorite memories.
Really tall.
Yeah, great. The YCC is actually was coming back, and we were stranded in a hotel. I mean, not in a hotel, but in an airport with Bowie and Ross and Ivan Lee and a couple other people. We were just, and I think maybe Kawhi might have been there, but we were playing cards in this empty airport waiting room. It was really fun. Oh wow! And that's a break.
That was
Fine.
huge.
Oh.
I remember that. It was like, okay, we're tied. We just won 2 points. Like, we're in this. We're 100% there.
oh, this is tough to watch. I got scored on.
Lots of moments.
There we go. Have to rub it in a little bit there, Kennedy. Sorry. All right. Wow.
But you did not get scored on, so it's all right.
Getting them pumped up.
I think that's Rex.
Oh, there's Isaiah.
Oh, there's my kid. There's Isaiah.
There's a loud clapping coming from the stairs.
Yeah, we've got a battle
Yeah,
of the
there's just a
chiefs going
huge
on
beer
right now.
battle happening right now on the audience and the crowd.
I don't know how they have such
Now it looks a little more even. You know, both teams are kind of like
At this point,
tired,
this is
but
just about
really,
back
really
to
want to
0-0,
win.
right? But from the beginning of the game now, no one has a lead, no one has a game.
There's Britt.
It's all
I see
about
Britt.
who can execute when they need to execute, who can stay composed, who can play tight D and lockdown.
Britt made an effort to come to like I think almost every single game that season. He was so awesome. I think every season.
Probably saying like
Yeah.
stay composed,
A huge supporter of
you can do it.
youth sports and youth ultimate, and specifically girls ultimate.
Right? The more you stress about it or
Yeah,
you
for
get mad
sure.
at each other, it's not going to help.
I remember he'd show up to our practice like biking, barefoot, to our field, and just checking in to see how we were doing.
For those not in the know, Britt's a legendary ultimate player in the Seattle scene, but also the AD at Northwest School. One of the reasons I think that the team there always feels pretty supported. And whoa,
Hammer, maybe? I don't know which one.
a hammer dump!
We got Hazel on this, looking deep.
Don't do that.
Oh,
What?
Sends it out to Yenny. Right outside the end zone.
this is so exciting.
Didn't quite get in there.
Oh, without the score, that'll work.
I don't know how many scores Hazel has gotten this game, but it's been a lot.
Jeez, I know we're supposed to be chatting and stuff. It's supposed to be a rewatch, but like this game is so good.
That's
So
a
good.
tough gamble to make as the deep there for Northwest.
I was like, I know what happened, but
it
still makes me so nervous.
In the right place at the right time, bringing down the desk.
Good to see her back out there. Glad her foot wasn't hurting.
That's right.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
We got some
On the call in the booth, we have you'll hear a little voice. You'll hear Shannon O'Malley, who's just talking about legendary figures in youth ultimate Seattle. Longtime Riot player. Coached at Hale, coached at Eckstein, started Seven Hills.
Really active, lot of fans out here.
Is the Dis Northwest camps director. Just such an integral part of everything that makes youth ultimate in Seattle kind of special and unique. And then Louise King, who was a teammate of yours on YCC, went to Ballard, is now up at UBC, and I don't think Louise is playing ultimate anymore, sadly.
All right, we got.
I don't know if you've been in touch with her.
I think Hazel's the main puller for Franklin.
Yeah. She was really great. I mean, she still is, but I don't think she's playing.
Sophomore right now?
I think so.
Yeah, I think she
Sophomore who's already
is like rowing or sailing or some boat in the water kind of thing. I don't remember.
Playing with U16.
Yeah, I know she is.
How about you, Allegra? Are you in touch with any of the folks on your team anymore? Like, well, I mean, one of them, Maya, right there. She ended up in your up there. What about Ray? I don't think Ray's playing anymore. Is she?
I'm not sure. I know I remember, like my senior year, hearing that she wasn't happy with the like level of commitment. I think on the women's team at Wesleyan or something. So she was playing with the boys' team and like totally rocking it. But yeah, I haven't kept in touch much with the older players. I think Lila's playing at USC.
Sweet.
Ada's playing at Colorado College. I'm pretty sure from what I know. But yeah, and Sonia is playing at Western. So most of these people are still playing.
Really aggressive out there.
That's
really
awesome.
physical.
Oof.
It's like bees making a call in the field.
This is the first call in a while. Things had settled down there for a minute. It's interesting to see.
Have some discussion to sort this out.
Talked about it earlier. Discussion is.
I like it.
Because if you contest, it's not bad spirit. It's just
What-
your
what-
point of view.
Kennedy, tell me
Contest if you need to contest.
what share a lasting memory from your days of playing in Seattle. Like what makes playing youth ultimate in Seattle special, in your opinion?
Um, geez. Um, I think I actually think about this a lot, especially now that I'm in college. What made my youth ultimate experience special with Franklin, like no doubt about it. The family that I have right now, like there, now it's just unbelievable. Like I love Franklin in my heart, and it was always nice and majority people of color, and so it was really nice to be around people who, understood what we went through in life. And so I think that was kind of what made my experience special in Seattle, is that we did have such a really a solid group of people of color who understood what we were going through and just wanted to play frisbee. And so while also addressing a lot of big societal things, and it was really great to be in that for so long. Especially now that I go to college and I play the primarily white team, it's like I have Seattle and Franklin to fall back on because of that foundation.
Also, if you want to ask a question.
You might be able to
Yeah.
answer it through the excitement that is happening here in the booth.
Allegra, I got a question for you.
Cheers for Northwest right now.
Why do you play ultimate? I mean, you were like a very highly regarded youth soccer player, right? But something
Um,
clicked with ultimate. What was it?
um, it's hard to say. I think playing with this team, there was something really, really special about it. Like this year was a really big year. And we were all really there for each other. I remember feeling really supported by the seniors, by Mark and Amp too. I definitely felt the pressure because I felt like, I definitely was not one of the stars on this team, and I was not sure if I was meant to be there, which I think everybody has felt at some point. Like, do they deserve to be there? To be playing. But I really felt a lot of support, and it was a great environment to learn in, and obviously super competitive with a lot of really high level players, and I got to learn a lot. And I was like, wow, this is definitely something that I want to be a part of again, and something I want to keep learning and I want to keep getting better because it's so worth it. And I found Syzygy, which is a very similar feeling of community where everybody just supports each other, whether it's on the field or it's off the field. Whatever you need, you know that the players on your team are there for you, and will listen to you. And that's something really, really special that I never felt in soccer. I'm sure soccer teams feel really, really connected, but there's definitely something really special about Ultimate that really sort of I wanted to keep doing.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm gonna practice. I was really angry. I was very, very angry. I don't think I was this angry, but I looked very angry.
That hand motion right there.
It was the hand. It was the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got your point across. That's all that matters.
There.
Yeah, right.
You're like, fine,
Send it back.
Yeah, we could just go back.
Yeah, in these moments, just having the presence of mind just to be chill like that. Like, don't worry about those little expressions. That was well handled. There's 2 minutes left. 11-11. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
you got your revenge on that point.
yeah.
Maybe revenge is the wrong word, but you definitely proved a point.
Yeah, you kind of just claimed that disc. You're like, this is mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
On Catherine Carr too.
And then you spiked it. I don't remember seeing you spiked very much.
Yeah. I don't even spike that much now. I just so hyped up, but yeah.
What do you think the future of the sport of Ultimate looks like, especially in the women's division or women's side? What do we have to look forward to? Kennadi, I'll go to you first.
I'm looking forward to the women's league that they obviously postponed it because of everything that's going on, but I'm super excited for that and for it to start and to see like pro women's ultimate maybe like in a few years play, but I love that track that it's going on right now.
Yeah, Allegra, you have any pro aspirations? You think you might come back to Seattle and try out for the Cascades?
Probably not, but I definitely appreciate how much women's ultimate is being filmed. Like, I think as somebody who's like, probably in the middle of their like college career, I guess you could call it, playing and just trying to like get better and make the most of the experience, like having really quality like women's ultimate to watch and stream is like so helpful and so key. And I remember like even in 2017, like 3 years ago, I didn't really know that there was like that much women's ultimate going on, and now it's like it's easy to get footage and it's getting like I feel like it's growing every day, and I really love that I am able to have access to a lot of women's games.
We actually get to thank our partner on these, Fulcrum Pro Media. They're really at the forefront of a lot of that coverage, and something that's why I'm so proud and so happy to partner with them, is that they're right there in terms of making sure that visibility is there, that representation is there. And I think you're right. I think being able to have that access to high level women's ultimate is just it's changed. I think, but I know for like my daughter, for Mira, being able to grow up watching locally great players and feel embraced by great players locally, but also then be able to like she loves watching Molly Brown play too, and being able to watch a lot of those games and learn from great players across the country has been really valuable to her.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize how lucky I was, like growing up in Seattle, that ultimate was that Catherine?
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, I think she like hit a seam in the field and fell backwards. And she had all the space in the world.
Oh my god.
Maybe. Maybe she tripped on her laces, but like she went down hard and
Called an injury before the throw went up, and that was actually her receiver.
She was wide open though.
Yeah, so Hazel just stepped off the field.
I think she's maybe like a little pull or a cramp or something. She's rolling.
So this will go back to
Interesting.
the goal line.
Yeah,
It's like
I forgot about that too.
just around the goal line.
Allegra, who are some of your ultimate heroes? You say you watch some tape. Who do you like to watch play?
I don't know how she does that. Oh my god.
Is that Maya?
I think it was Catherine.
Was it? Gee.
I think I really liked watching my coaches play. I think it was really important for me to have women's coach. Mark was great, and I loved going to his Cascade games too, and that was cool to see him play. But having like women's coaches like Amp, and we had Emily, who I forget her last name, but she played on Cascades too in earlier years. Yeah, Zakowski. Having women's coaches, and Courtney Kisau, our current Syzygy coach, stuff have been really, really important for me.
All right, 12,
Oh my
12, game to
God.
13.
Again, I got you.
Yeah, I was about to ask you who you look up to as an ultimate player, but I feel like we need to kind of like be in this moment here a little bit. Do you remember this at all? Do you remember any of your feelings, like what you were carrying onto the field at all at this point?
You can imagine here.
At this point, I do not remember getting. Well, let me think about this.
Strongest lines.
I was.
YCC players,
I wasn't like
seniors,
happy that we had like kind of
players who've
given
been
up the
playing since
lead,
they were 3
but
years
I knew
old.
that like it was tied at this point, and that obviously there was a chance that we could win. And we're in overtime, and on Universe, and so I was just like at that point, I was just like, all right, so it's our one chance, we got to do it. And I know we all were just like ready. I guess is what I could say.
Allegra, do you remember what your coach told you? What your coaches told you?
From what I remember, Mark was just like, it was kind of a reality check. Like, this is the last point in state finals. It's Universe point. It's overtime. Like, if there ever was a time to lay it all out there, like, it's now. Like, we've worked all season for this. You can trust in everything you've learned and how you play. And this is the time, I guess. I wasn't playing, but I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, this could not be happening. Like, it's enough that it's the state finals, but it's also tied and it's also Universe. Yeah, I was kind of in shock. I'm like nervous talking about it. Kennadi, I feel like this reminds me a lot of our game last year against UCSD.
Yeah, UCSD. Yeah, very much so. Yes. I don't think it was the same score, but it was Universe overtime. That was a really intense game, and it was really rough game.
Yeah. And I think we came back a lot in that game too, right? Or no, did we trade points? I don't know. It had a similar level of intensity.
Look at how much hustle there is being shown. That's just like defense was down there. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I was like, this is it. Okay.
We were stressed.
I was like, just get it to Catherine. Just get it to Catherine. She can catch anything.
Oh. I mean, to overthrow Ray was difficult. So, wow.
She's so fast. She's so fast.
So fast. Such remarkable change of direction too.
But she had played. She's like so tired. She'd played like probably 7 or 8 points at this. Or no, probably more like, I don't know, 15 or something crazy.
Yeah, and had been in the cup a lot. Like, oh. The PX point.
Oh. Mm-hmm. If PX point, you go. You just go.
Yep. No contest.
That was Sonya, I think.
I see Mark pointing at the crowd, telling him to stay out of it.
Mark
that
was,
is such...
yeah. Oh my gosh.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He had no.
And then I was like,
business.
oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Better field position now for Franklin, but Northwest is confident. You got a lockdown. Franklin's got a lockdown here on defense.
Yeah, let's just hear. Let's listen to the call.
Almost
Ooh.
there.
Mm.
We got Kennadi on the mark now at Northwest.
Oh my
Breaks
gosh.
around.
Kennedy.
Lila. She's got the disc now.
Franklin working hard.
And a big piece on it.
Amy to win.
And she shoots it. She's going to be outside the end zone.
Huge
All right, let's see if Franklin can bring it in
Have
for
to
the
stay
high school.
patient.
to Yee.
For the goal. That's 13-12 on Universe Point.
Franklin High School.
You couldn't have asked for a better game. Everyone is going wild. Here's the replay composed. Michelle Yee.
To Amy.
Oh, Amy with the spike.
She shoots the big hook and gets down for the score.
Wow.
Incredible. You can see the community that Franklin has with them. They have rushed the
I remember trying to fight my way through that crowd to deliver the medals. Couldn't get there.
Oh
I see
yeah!
high.
Wow.
Wow.
Mhm. Wow.
Allegra, do you remember what? I mean, that's a hard thing to reflect on in the moment. Do you remember what any sage advice you got from a teammate or a coach at that point?
Man, I was just so in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, because this game just went from like, wow, we're gonna win and it's just gonna be a breeze to wow, we're really gonna lose. Like they really brought it to like, oh my gosh, it's so close. And then the kind of finality of like when you guys won that point, I think we were all kind of in shock. But we sort of came together in a team. I think both teams really like came together during that game. So I think a lot of it afterwards was just sort of supporting my teammates and them supporting me and knowing that it wasn't any like individual thing and that we'd all worked really hard.
Yeah. Kennadi, what do you recall about that moment? I'm sure elation, but anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all in shock because there was like this whole thing about like the curse, and we had broken it basically for Franklin being and winning, for the first time, and so we were all just super excited, and it was also really great that we had all of our close friends and family there, and that they rushed the field for us because we knew that they had our back. So we were all kind of just like, this is happening. And our coaches specifically, they were like, this just happened, especially considering how we were at 8-4 or something, 8-3 at half. Coming back from that was especially made it even more emotional for everybody, I think.
Yeah. Well, I want to say I really appreciate both of you joining me, joining us tonight. It was your perspectives so awesome. Any last thoughts about, like, should they follow you on Instagram? How should they buy Syzygy gear to support the team? What This is your last opportunity here. What do you got to share with the community, Kennadi?
I mean, well, you'll see both Allegra and I again this time on the same team, which will be great. And yeah, support Syzygy Ultimate because we're going places. Yeah.
Awesome. Allegra, anything you want to share with the community?
Same thing. It's definitely much more fun playing with Kennadi than it is playing against Kennadi, as you saw by how many assists and scores and Ds she got. So I feel really grateful for that. And definitely buy Syzygy merch. We got such sick jerseys this year with an astronaut on them. So yeah, thank you.
I feel like Syzygy always has there's always something sweet. The NASA jersey, maybe, was that last year? The one that looked
Yeah.
like a little bit like NASA? Yeah, I should have gotten one of those. Those are sweet. Yeah. All right. Shout out to both of you, and shout out to Syzygy and to Northwest School and Franklin. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you. Stay safe, stay healthy,
Mhm.
take care of your bodies, and wash your hands a lot. Wash your hands. When do you think you're going back to Minnesota? Do you think you're going back? Are you on quarters or are you on
We're trimesters.
trimesters? Okay.
Mhm.
It was pretty dramatic. Yeah, we were like maybe gonna go back for like 5 weeks in the spring,
Mhm.
but we would have gone back this weekend actually. But obviously,
Mhm.
that was not happening. But hopefully in the fall.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll still be there. It'll still be there.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, take care. Have a great evening. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.